La Caixa means simply the savings bank, and it's on every corner in Barcelona. It's Spain's third largest financial institute. But in the wake of the financial crisis, the bank lost a lot of its customers' confidence.
The banks scare me. Somehow, I get the feeling that all the money gravitates towards them, and they're making obscene profits. And at the same time, millions of people are out of work here in Spain. They have debts piling high, and they're losing their homes to the banks.
They caused the crisis, and then we gave them money to get out of it again. I'm just lucky I don't need a loan. But what do the families and business owners do who need money and can't get any from the banks?
As a savings bank, La Caixa caters to ordinary workers. Before the crisis, it played fast and loose with granting loans to buy homes, for instance. But after the property bubble burst, the bank turned extremely tight-fisted. It holds on to the capital that it's got. The balance sheet is still full of unpaid housing loans. La Caixa has to retain enough reserve capital to pass the stress test. That's a test meant to show whether a bank can withstand another financial crisis. Many would-be investors would also like to know about that. Spain has exited the European Commission's assistance program. The economy is starting to recover. The president of Barcelona Stock Exchange doesn't seem worried about how the stress test will turn out.
There's been a significant bank reform in Spain, and I personally have no doubt that all the major Spanish banks will pass the stress test and continue to be stable and solvent in the future.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that the banks will loosen up their lending policies for smaller businesses. This cafe owner feels let down by La Caixa. He couldn't get the loan he needed to open a shop that he'd been planning.
I don't see myself as a victim. It's more a feeling of helplessness. But whatever happens, I'll just carry on.
Businesses have got to have access to credit if an economy is to grow. But the banks are keeping a tight grip on their capital so they can weather any future storms.
Right now, Spain's banks are a lot more solvent than they were 2 years ago. They have a lot more opportunities to increase capital. The problem is that their most important function is to grant loans. But when the economy as a whole isn't doing well, it has a negative effect on the bank's solvency.
The cafe owner can only be glad that he's not dependent on the bank right now. And in the future, he's determined to get by without taking out any loans.